Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christy with Ahn Co. It's Thursday, January 17th. I'm going to go over the markets with you for the day. You had a flip of the switch here shortly after noon to give a lot of support into these grain markets. Corn market up 6 cents on the day. Soybean market up 13 1/4 after being up 16 1/2 to 17 cents. Wheat market anywhere from 5 to 8 cents higher on the day. This comes off the midday model that pushed a little bit of dryness and building that ridge back up into Brazil. And those are where you're building that weather premium back into these markets. You are going to plant the safrinha crop into very dry topsoil conditions, and that is a concern. Now, what we have read as far as from top meteorologists is that this is kind of hit or miss. It looks like the ridge is building. It looks like dryness is going to show back up in that 7-week or that 2-week forecast, but you also have the chance for some precip coming along the way, which will help out. And you're at the end of the growing season for a lot of places. You should be anywhere from 5 to 10% harvested on soybeans right now. And so the big question is, what kind of damage can it do to soybeans, or is this bigger corn story planting into some very dry situations? Argentina still having good conditions. They got moisture here overnight, and that's really helped them along. So the biggest question remains, what kind of this? It looked like more or less you just caught the market being very quiet off limited news, had big setback, was on some support levels, and this really gave it the bounce it needed. So we'll have to see if this follows through into Friday's trade, if you'll see selling come into a long weekend because the markets are closed on Monday. Meat markets, you had a little bit of a pullback into live cattle after they've been on a tear here the last week or two. So you had about 80 cents lower there. Feeder cattle over $2 lower on that front contract. And then when you look at hog market, front contract up 80 cents but deferred in the red. And then you have the outside markets, crude market up about 40 cents, US dollar about steady. Dow market fluctuated both sides. Did sound like maybe you were going to have a bill pushed through once again to try and reopen the government. The biggest thing is, unless it has that $5.1 billion funding in there for a border wall, Trump says that he will veto that. And that's the biggest question, is until they can get something figured out, it's kind of a concern that there's just no point of it because it's going to get vetoed. And that's what we have to work through moving forward, because we're really lacking some information here from a lot of fundamental basis when we look at these grain markets. So today it was a nice push to see it move some. Otherwise, it's been very quiet trade and just slowly bleeding itself lower. We'll also be looking to see if those forecasts change overnight trade, and those models are going to be watched very closely because they really were the reason we saw that big push here midday. And like I said, we're coming into a 3-day holiday weekend where trade can get a little bit on the antsy side, so we'll see what Friday brings. I do have to close with a disclaimer: trade in futures and options involves risk loss and is not suitable for all producers. Have a great day.